I was kind of in my late 30s when I went through all of this, so I wasn't, I guess, a typical person in that role. My first husband, Mauro, was really fit, well, healthy, busy, father of 3, and got quite sick quite quickly and was diagnosed with kidney cancer, renal cell carcinoma, and it was quite advanced when they picked it up. We had no sense of how to navigate that period of our lives at all. And as the person in that role of caring for him and caring for our children and trying to just maintain a sense of life and living, it's really, really tough. I really needed someone to sit me down and talk to me about what was really going on, and to give me the courage perhaps to talk to him about what was really going on, even to talk to his family and to ask different kinds of questions of his medical team. I just didn't have any of that awareness, let alone courage. So we muddled through. We avoided a lot of things. We didn't talk about most of what we needed to talk about, and we were completely unprepared for his death, completely unprepared for his death. I had good support in our families, but I really had very limited support from the medical system or the psychosocial system. I didn't know how to access that. I didn't even think to. I actually had eligibility for some childcare, in-home childcare help, and I didn't know that until 8 months after I could have accessed it. How do we find these things? How do we figure out? And you don't really have the stamina to go and knock on doors and ring up people and get bounced around and having to keep telling people that your husband's dying and you're not really sure what might be available to you. It's really hard. It's really confronting to have to do that. LifeCircle decided really clearly and very deliberately to focus our efforts on the person or the people who are caring for someone who's dying. And we did that because we've had 40 years of experience working with that group of people, that cohort, and we know that when that person is better supported, better prepared, given a clearer and more useful way to understand that role and their way through it, they actually can make different decisions, they can make different choices, they can navigate crisis moments in a different way. So no other organisation has that singular focus. We can see it's a real gap in helping to change the experience of dying. So there's an immediate gap that I would like to see us fill, which is to raise that number of deaths in the place that people want to die. So this is not necessarily advocating for people to die at home. It's about giving people and giving the people that care for those people all that they need to make the right decisions and the right choices to die where and to die how they choose. We seem to find a way of wrapping it up in tightly medicalised procedures and the constant story of hope and of prolonging one's life, and we just don't have the power to control that. So that over time, kind of very community-led, person-to-person sharing of experiences and a different way of doing things, that's how we hope to see this shift. If we're talking about cultural change, I think it's really important to acknowledge the parts of the system that do work really well today, and that is the really brilliant level of medical care that's available to us, but it's largely clinical care. So there's a huge gap in this non-clinical care, which is a kind of fancy term for just saying the deep social and emotional and human parts of someone dying. It's often the hardest part of the work. The evidence is already there. Where people engage with this topic, they really engage with it. They take it on, they make it their own, They're very open about their own experiences, both the really hard parts of that and the really good parts of that, and they share it. So it gives us a lot of confidence that people who need this will engage with it in the right way. I just think it's genuinely part of a more civil society that we're mature enough and courageous enough to start to look at some of these issues differently, work with them differently.